Be me, Sarah, 32, corporate litigation attorney at a major firm, making $240,000 a year, own my own condo in the city, independent as fuck. Just got out of another relationship last month. That's relationship number, honestly, lost count at this point. Jessica from work asked me to lunch. We grabbed salads at that overpriced place downtown. So what happened with Marcus? She asks. Roll my eyes so hard I can see my own brain. He wanted me to cook dinner more often. Said it would be nice if I took care of him sometimes. Jessica nearly chokes on her kale. What is this, 1952? We both laugh. But inside, I'm fucking exhausted. Been engaged twice. Both times called it off. First guy couldn't handle that I made more money. Second guy kept talking about traditional family values. I'm not anyone's domestic servant, thanks. That weekend, Dad calls. Sarah, honey, Grandpa Frank's health is getting worse. Can you help clean out some stuff from the old house? Grandpa Frank is 94, married to Grandma Dorothy for 61 years before she died 3 years ago. Never even heard them argue once in my entire childhood. Honestly, kind of weird looking back on it. Drive out to their house in the suburbs, that same house they bought in 1959. Dad's already there, going through boxes in the basement. Take a look through Grandma's stuff upstairs, will you? See if there's anything you want to keep. Head up to their bedroom, unchanged since Grandma died. Floral wallpaper, wedding photo on the dresser, everything frozen in time. Start going through her dresser drawers, mostly old clothes. Bottom drawer has a wooden box. Open it, find a stack of letters and a small book. The book's title makes me physically recoil. The Successful Wife, A Guide to Marital Happiness, published 1954. What the actual fuck? Open it anyway, out of morbid curiosity. First chapter, Greeting Your Husband at the Door. I shit you not. There are detailed instructions. Have dinner ready when he arrives home from work. Plan ahead to have a delicious meal ready on time for his return. Prepare yourself. Touch up your makeup, put a ribbon in your hair, and be fresh looking. Clear away clutter and run a dust cloth over the tables. During the cooler months, prepare and light a fire for him to unwind by. My jaw is on the fucking floor. Keep reading because I hate myself apparently. Minimize all noise. At the time of his arrival, eliminate all noise from the washer, dryer, or vacuum. Greet him with a warm smile and show sincerity in your desire to please him. Listen to him. Let him talk first. Remember, his topics of conversation are more important than yours. Throw the book across the room. This is what women were taught? This is what they accepted? Pick it up again because I'm a masochist. Notice handwritten notes in the margins in Grandma Dorothy's handwriting. Next to his topics of conversation are more important than yours. She's written, Frank loves talking about the factory. Ask about the new machinery. Next to have dinner ready on time, she's written, pot roast, his favorite, ready by 5:30. She actually followed this shit. Feel sick to my stomach. Start going through the letters. They're from Grandma Dorothy to her sister, dated throughout the 1950s and 60s. Sit on the bed and start reading. March 1956. Dear Helen, Frank got upset about the roast being dry last night. I felt terrible. I'll try the new recipe from Good Housekeeping next week. A wife should always make sure her husband is well fed and happy. September 1959. Dear Helen, I mentioned wanting to take an art class at the community center. Frank said it would interfere with dinner time and the house needs me here. He's right, of course. A woman's place is in the home, taking care of her family. December 1962. Dear Helen, I saw the most beautiful dress in the store window, but Frank manages our finances and said it wasn't necessary. He's very responsible with money, and I trust his judgment completely. Each letter is like a tiny horror story. But here's the thing that's fucking with my head. They were married for 61 years. 61 years, and I can't make it past 2. Keep reading. Hands shaking now. January 1965. Dear Helen, Frank raised his voice at me yesterday about the checkbook. I had written a check without asking him first. Only $12 for new curtains. I should have known better. The man is the head of the household, and I need to respect that. Want to reach through time and shake Grandma Dorothy, but also, they stayed together. Find another book in the box, The Good Wife's Guide, with a magazine article folded inside. The article lists rules including don't complain if he's late for dinner or stays out all night. Count this as minor compared to what he might have gone through that day. Arrange his pillow and offer to take off his shoes. Speak in a low, soothing voice. Don't ask him questions about his actions or question his judgment. A good wife always knows her place. Grandma Dorothy has underlined sections and written yes next to them. Literally want to vomit. Hear Dad coming up the stairs. Find anything interesting? Dad, did you know Grandma had all these books about being a good wife? He laughs. Actually fucking laughs. Oh yeah, that was just how it was back then. Women took care of the home, men took care of everything else. But Dad, this is insane. Listen to this. Don't burden him with your petty problems and complaints when he arrives home from work. He shrugs. Seemed to work for them. They were happy for over 60 years. Were they, though? Was Grandma actually happy? Dad looks uncomfortable. She never complained, not once. Yeah, because she was literally trained not to. Dad picks up one of the letters, reads it. Sarah, I know this seems strange to you, but it was different then. Women didn't question things. They got married, had kids, took care of the home. That's just what they did. They didn't have a choice, Dad. Maybe not. But divorce was rare. Families stayed together. Kids had both parents. Want to argue, but he's technically right. Divorce rates in 1950, around 5%. Divorce rates now, over 50%. Dad leaves. I keep reading. Find Grandma's diary from 1958. March 15th, 1958. Frank came home angry today. Something about a problem at work. He yelled at me about dinner being late. I cried, but made sure he didn't see. A wife mustn't upset her husband further with her emotions. I'll try harder tomorrow. Hands are literally shaking now. This is abuse, right? But they stayed together until she died. And everyone always talked about what a wonderful marriage they had. Keep reading the diary, because apparently I enjoy psychological torture. June 3rd, 1958. Saw Betty at church. She has a black eye again. I wanted to say something, but it's not my place. What happens between a husband and wife is private. I'm blessed that Frank only raises his voice and never his hand. Only raises his voice. Close the diary. Need a minute. Text Jessica. You won't believe what I'm finding at my grandparents' house. She texts back. What? Books about how to be a good wife from the 1950s. It's horrifying. LOL, like what? Send her photos of pages. She calls me immediately. Sarah, what the fuck? I know, right? Have dinner ready? Touch up your makeup? This is satire, right? No, this is what Grandma Dorothy actually followed. And Jessica, they were married for 61 years. Silence on the other end. That doesn't mean it was good, though. I know, but we can't stay in relationships for 61 weeks. More silence. Are you saying you think this worked? No, God, no, I'm saying I don't know what I'm saying. Hang up. Feeling weird and guilty. Go back to the diary. September 18th, 1960. Frank told me I've gained weight since the wedding. He's right. I've been careless. Started a new diet today. A wife should always stay attractive for her husband. October 2nd, 1960. Lost 5 pounds. Frank noticed and said I looked pretty. My whole day was made. There's nothing more important than pleasing your husband. December 24th, 1960. Christmas Eve. Frank invited his boss for dinner without telling me. I was upset but didn't show it. A wife must always be gracious and accommodating. The dinner went well. Frank said I did a good job. I'm so relieved. Every entry is the same pattern. Erase herself, please, Frank. Find validation in his approval. But also, contentment? June 7th, 1963. 20 years married today. Frank brought me flowers, made his favorite dinner. We sat on the porch after, and he held my hand. I am so lucky to have such a good husband. Some women aren't so blessed. The bar was in hell. Flowers once a year and not getting hit equals good husband. But she seemed happy? Find a letter from 1975. Dear Helen, I've been thinking about your daughter getting divorced. I know it's more common now, but I can't imagine it. Yes, marriage is hard. Yes, there are days I want to scream. But you make a commitment. You honor it. That's what love is. It's not feelings. It's duty. Duty. Not passion, not partnership, not equality. Duty. Think about Marcus, my last boyfriend. How I dumped him because he expected me to do more housework. How I told him we're equals, and I'm not his maid. Was I right? Of course I was right. But we lasted 8 months. Grandma Dorothy lasted 61 years serving pot roast and keeping quiet. Find more letters. These ones from Grandma Dorothy's sister Helen. October 1976. Dear Dorothy, I envy your marriage sometimes. Tom and I fight constantly. He wants me to quit my job now that I finally found work I love. He says it's not appropriate for a woman my age to work outside the home. We barely speak anymore. Grandma Dorothy's response, Dear Helen, I'm sorry you're struggling. Have you considered that Tom might be right? A woman working causes stress in a marriage. The husband should provide, the wife should nurture. That's God's design. Perhaps if you quit your job and focused on making Tom happy, your marriage would improve. Want to reach through time and stage an intervention. But also, Tom and Helen got divorced in 1978. Frank and Dorothy stayed together. Keep digging through the box. Find a thick envelope marked Private. Open it. More letters. These are different, though. April 1968. Dear Helen, I can't tell anyone else this. Sometimes I lie awake at night and wonder what my life would have been if I'd gone to college like I wanted. Frank said no, that women don't need education. I was 19, and I believed him. Now I'm 38, and I sometimes feel like my brain is dying from boredom. But a good wife doesn't complain. I made my choice. I'll honor it. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. She was miserable, but she stayed. July 1971. Dear Helen, I saw an ad for a secretary position at the local school. I would be good at that. I mentioned it to Frank, and he got very angry. Said his wife doesn't work. What would people think? That he can't provide. I won't bring it up again. A wife supports her husband's pride. November 1974. Dear Helen, Frank forgot my birthday again. I cried in the bathroom while he watched television. Then I washed my face, made him a sandwich, and said nothing. What good would it do? This is marriage. This is what we signed up for. Put the letters down. Feel tears coming. This is what success looked like? This is what everyone admires? 61 years of quiet suffering? Go downstairs. Find Grandpa Frank in his chair. He's 94 now. Mine's still sharp. Grandpa Frank, can I ask you something? Of course, sweetheart. You and Grandma were married a long time. His face lights up. 61 wonderful years. Best decision I ever made. What made it work? He thinks for a minute. Your grandmother knew how to be a wife, not like these modern women who want everything their way. She understood that the man leads the household and the woman supports him. She never questioned me, never nagged, always had dinner ready, kept herself nice. That's the secret. Women today want to be equal to men, and it ruins everything. Feel my blood pressure rising. But Grandpa, didn't Grandma have dreams, things she wanted to do? He waves his hand dismissively. Women don't need dreams, they need families. Your grandmother was happy. She had a nice home, 3 kids, a husband who provided for her. What more could she want? Her own money? Her own choices? Her own life? He frowns. Sarah, you've been poisoned by all this feminist nonsense. Look at you. 32, unmarried, no children. Your grandmother was married with 2 kids by your age. This is what happens when women get too independent. They end up alone. Want to throw something. But also, am I alone? Yes. Yes, I am. Grandpa, I found some of Grandma's letters. She seemed sad sometimes. Sad? Your grandmother was never sad. She was a good woman. She knew her place. She wrote about wanting to go to college, about wanting to work. His face darkens. A wife's job is in the home. I provided everything she needed. She had no reason to work. What if she wanted to? Then she was being selfish. Marriage is about sacrifice. She understood that. Sacrifice seems pretty one-sided, Grandpa. He looks at me with something like pity. This is why you can't keep a man, Sarah. You don't understand what marriage is. It's not about being happy all the time. It's about duty, commitment, staying together no matter what. Your grandmother never would have divorced me no matter what. Even if you hit her? His eyes flash. I never laid a hand on your grandmother. But you yelled at her. She wrote about it. A man has a right to express displeasure in his own home. But she didn't? That's different. A woman's nagging destroys a marriage. A man's discipline maintains order. Discipline. I'm going to be sick. Go back upstairs, call Amanda, my other close friend. She's on date number 3 with some guy from Hinge. Sarah, what's up? Amanda, how long was your longest relationship? Maybe a year and a half. Why? My grandparents were married for 61 years. Okay? I'm at their house, and I found all this stuff about how marriage worked back then. Amanda, it's fucking horrible. Women were basically servants. They had no rights, no money, no choices. But the marriages lasted. So, jail sentences last too. Doesn't mean they're good. She's right. She's absolutely right. So why do I feel so confused? Amanda, what if we're doing it wrong? Excuse me? What if all this equality and independence means we're too, I don't know, unwilling to compromise? Sarah, are you having a stroke? You're the most feminist person I know. You literally sued your last firm for gender discrimination and won. I know. But I'm looking at my grandmother's life, and yes, it was oppressive and wrong, and she had no freedom. But she also had stability. She had a partner for 61 years. We can barely make it past year 1. Because we have standards. We don't have to stay with men who don't respect us. I know that's a good thing. I know that. So why do I feel so... So what? Jealous? Envious? I don't know. She had something that lasted. Everything I have falls apart. It lasted because she was trapped, Sarah. She couldn't leave. She had no money, no education, no options. That's not romance. That's prison. Amanda's right. Of course she's right. Hang up. Go back to reading. Find a letter from 1982. Dear Helen, Frank retired today. He's home all the time now. I thought I'd enjoy having him around more, but I feel suffocated. The house was my domain for 40 years, and now he's always here, always watching, always criticizing. But I smile and make his lunch and pretend I'm happy. 52 years of marriage, and I still can't be honest with my own husband. 52 years and no honesty. But they stayed together another 9 years after that. Find Grandma's diary from 2015, just before she died. January 10th, 2015. 60 years married today. Frank says it's because I was a good wife. I suppose that's true. I never left, even when I wanted to. And I wanted to. God, how I wanted to sometimes. But I made a vow. I kept it. I don't know if I was happy, but I was dutiful. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough. Is it, though? Think about my own life. Think about the guy I dated who wanted me to take his last name, how I laughed in his face. Think about the one who got upset that I made more money, how I told him to deal with his fragile ego. Think about Marcus, how he wanted me to cook more, how I said I'm not his mother. Was I wrong? No, I wasn't wrong, but I'm also a mantilla. Spend the next 3 hours reading everything in that box. By the end, I have a clear picture. Grandma Dorothy gave up college, career, money, autonomy, choices, and dreams. She gave up having opinions, being heard, being treated as an equal. She gave up herself. And in return, she got stability. She got a marriage that lasted until death. She got to say, "We've been married 61 years. She got to never be alone. But at what cost? Go back downstairs. Grandpa Frank is watching Fox News. Grandpa, did you love Grandma? He looked surprised. Of course I did. I provided for her for over 60 years. That's not what I asked. Did you love her? I married her, didn't I? I stayed with her. I worked hard to give her a good life. Did you ever ask what she wanted? She wanted what all women want, a home and a family. How do you know? Did she tell you? She didn't need to tell me, I knew. But what if you were wrong? He mutes the TV, looks at me seriously. Sarah, I'm going to tell you something and I want you to listen. Your grandmother and I had a good marriage because we understood the natural order. Men lead, women follow. Men provide, women nurture. Men decide, women support. The moment women started thinking they should be equal to men, marriage fell apart. Look at the divorce rate. Look at how many women your age are unmarried. This is what feminism has done. Or maybe it freed us from staying in situations that made us miserable. You think your grandmother was miserable? I think she never had the option to leave, so she made the best of it. She loved me. Did she? Or did she just do what she was trained to do? He turns the TV back on, conversation over. Go back upstairs, sit on their bed, look at the wedding photo on the dresser. Grandma Dorothy, age 21, looking at the camera. Is that happiness in her eyes or resignation? Can't tell. Think about my own relationships. Jason, who wanted me to quit my job to travel with him for his career, told him to fuck off. David, who said I was too ambitious and it emasculated him, told him that was a him problem. Marcus, who wanted a more traditional girlfriend, told him it was 2024, not 1954. But they're all married now. Jason married a woman who quit her job to follow him. David married a teacher who works part-time. Marcus married a woman who posts cooking videos on Instagram. And I'm alone in my $900,000 condo with my $240,000 salary and my independence. Is this what winning looks like? Spend the night at the house. Can't stop reading the letters. Find one from 1959 that fucking destroys me. Dear Helen, I saw a woman at the store today with a briefcase and nice clothes. She was maybe my age, buying groceries during her lunch break from some office job. I felt such envy I thought I might cry right there in the produce section. That could have been me. I was smart enough. But I got married instead. And now I spend my days cleaning and cooking and waiting for Frank to come home so I can have an adult conversation. Is this all there is? Don't tell anyone I asked that. Grandma Dorothy was smart. She wanted more, but she never got it, and everyone calls her marriage a success. Monday morning, back at work. Big case, corporate merger. I'm second chair. Crushing it in the conference room. Male opposing counsel keeps addressing all his comments to my male colleague, even though I'm clearly leading. Call him out on it. I'm handling this portion of the negotiation. Actually, he smirks. Just seems like a lot for you to manage. No offense. A few years ago, this would have made me rage. Today, I just feel tired. Destroy him in the negotiation anyway. Get back to my office. Jessica comes in. You okay? You seem off. Still thinking about my grandmother. The 1950s stuff? Jessica. She was miserable. Like genuinely miserable. She wanted to go to college, get a job, have her own money. But she couldn't. She was trapped. That's awful. But she stayed married for 61 years. Everyone talks about their marriage like it was this beautiful thing. It was a prison, Sarah. I know, but it was a stable prison. Jessica sits down. Okay, what's really going on? You're not seriously thinking all that 1950s bullshit was better? No, God, no. But Jessica, we're both 32. We're both successful. We both make great money. We're both independent, and we're both alone. So maybe there's a middle ground we're missing? Between equality and subjugation? I don't think so. Not subjugation, but like, I dumped Marcus because he wanted me to cook more. Was that really such a terrible thing to ask? Jessica stares at me. Sarah, he wanted you to cook for him every night while also working 60-hour weeks. He worked from home and expected you to do all the domestic labor. I know, you're right. But am I right? That night, go through my own relationship history. Make a list of every guy I've dated seriously. Make a second list of why each relationship ended. Jake wanted me to move to Ohio for his job. I said no. Brad said I worked too much and needed to prioritize us more. Connor wanted me to take his last name. I refused. David felt emasculated by my success. Jason wanted me to be available more on weekends instead of working. Marcus wanted more traditional division of household labor. Look at the list. In every case, I chose my career, my independence, my equality. And in every case, I ended up alone. Grandma Dorothy chose the opposite every single time and stayed married for 61 years. Text Amanda. Honest question. Do you think we're too uncompromising? She texts back, in what way? Like, we refuse to adjust our lives at all for relationships. Is that healthy? It's called having boundaries, Sarah. Or is it called being unwilling to be a partner? She calls me. Okay, what the hell happened at your grandparents' house? Tell her everything. The books, the letters, the diary, the conversation with Grandpa Frank. Sarah, your grandmother had no choice. That's the difference. We have choices. But what if having infinite choices makes it impossible to commit to anything? Are you saying we should go back to the 1950s? No, obviously not. Women couldn't have credit cards or bank accounts. Marital rape wasn't illegal. Domestic abuse was hidden. It was horrible. Then what are you saying? I don't know. I guess I'm wondering if there's something in between be your husband's servant and refuse to compromise on anything ever. Amanda sighs. Look, I get it. Dating is exhausting. Being alone is hard. But the answer isn't to go back to a time when women were property. I know that. I want what Grandma had. Not the oppression, but the stability. You can't separate them, Sarah. The stability existed because of the oppression. Women stayed because they couldn't leave. She's right. Intellectually, I know she's right. So why does it still fuck with my head? Weekend. Go back to Grandpa Frank's house. Dad's putting more stuff in boxes. Hey, Dad, Did Grandma ever seem unhappy to you? He stops, thinks. Not outwardly. But sometimes I'd catch her staring out the window with this look. I don't know. Hard to describe. Like she was somewhere else? Yeah, exactly like that. Did she ever talk about what she wanted to do with her life? Not really. She talked about us kids, about Dad, about the house. That was her life. But what about before? Before marriage and kids? Dad pulls out a box from the closet. Actually, I found this. Her high school yearbook. Open it to her senior photo. Dorothy Miller, class of 1954. Under her photo, most likely to succeed, future college girl, smartest in class. Future college girl. She never went. Flip through, find more notes. Dorothy plans to study literature at the State University. She never did. Married Frank 3 months after graduation, pregnant with their first kid a year later. Her entire future erased. Show Dad. She was supposed to go to college. Things were different then, Sarah. Women got married. She wanted more than that. Maybe. But she seemed happy enough with what she had. Did she, though? Or did she just not have permission to be unhappy? Dad doesn't answer. Take the yearbook home. Spend the evening looking at young Dorothy's face. She looks so hopeful, so full of possibilities, all of which got shut down. Think about my own life. I went to college. I went to law school. I have a career I love. I have money, independence, freedom. Everything Grandma Dorothy wanted. And I'm alone. She had none of it. And she had a partner for 61 years. Why can't I have both? Realize the answer. Because the men in Grandpa Frank's generation wanted servants, not partners. And lots of men still do. Marcus literally said he wanted someone more traditional. Translation: someone who'll cook his dinner and defer to him. I wouldn't do that, so he left. Grandma Dorothy did it for 61 years. Who won? Neither of us, probably. Get a call from Jessica. Hey, so I'm going out with Todd again tonight. That's like date number 5, right? Going well? Yeah, actually, really well. But Sarah, he asked me if I'd be willing to relocate if his job required it in a few years. What did you say? I said I'd think about it. But here's the thing, I'm actually considering it. Jess, you love your job. I know. But I'm also tired of being alone. And he's really great. And maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing to prioritize a relationship for once. Feel something twist in my chest. Are you seriously considering giving up your career? Not giving up. Just being flexible. Is that so wrong? Remember Grandma Dorothy's letter. A wife supports her husband's pride. Jess, no, don't do this. Do what? Compromise? Like healthy couples do? It's not compromise if you're the only one sacrificing. He's offering to wait a few years so I can make partner first. Oh, how generous of him. Sarah, not everyone who asks for compromise is an oppressor. But how do you know where compromise ends and subjugation begins? I don't know, but I know I can't do this alone forever. Hang up, feeling betrayed. Betrayed by what, though? Jessica potentially choosing a relationship over career, or betrayed by my own doubts? That week, throw myself into work. Win the big merger case. Senior partner congratulates me. Fantastic work, Sarah. You're on track for partner in 2 years. Should feel triumphant. Instead, feel empty. Go home to my expensive condo. Order takeout because I can't cook and don't want to learn. Eat alone while watching Netflix. Check Instagram, see Marcus got engaged. His fiance's profile is public. Scroll through. She's a nurse who works part-time. Lots of photos of homemade dinners. Couple photos where she's gazing at him adoringly. Caption on their engagement photo, "Can't wait to be Mrs. Harris." She's taking his name. She looks happy. He looks happy. I'm alone with my principles. Close Instagram. Feel sick. Don't know why. I made the right choice. I did. So, why does it feel so wrong? Next day, go back to Grandpa Frank's house one more time. He's in his chair, same as always. "Grandpa, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest." "All right." "If Grandma had wanted to go to college, would you have let her?" He's quiet for a long moment. "No." "Why not?" "Because I needed a wife, not a college girl." "But that's what she wanted." "What she wanted didn't matter. She was my wife." There it is, the truth, naked and ugly. "Did you even love her?" He looks at me with something like surprise. "I provided for her. I protected her. I stayed with her until she died. That's love." "No, that's obligation. It's the same thing." "It's really not." "Sarah, you modern women think love is about feelings and passion and excitement. It's not. Love is about commitment and duty and staying even when you don't want to. Your grandmother understood that. She understood she had no choice. She made a choice. She chose to stay. Because divorce wasn't an option. Because she had no money, no education, no job prospects. Because she honored her vows. Stand up. Can't do this anymore. Grandpa, you didn't have a marriage. You had an arrangement where you controlled every aspect of another person's life and called it love." His face hardens. "And you're going to die alone because you can't control your pride long enough to let a man be a man." His words hit like a slap. Because maybe he's right. Not about letting a man be a man, but about dying alone. Leave. Sit in my car. Cry for the first time in years. Cry for Grandma Dorothy, who never got to go to college. Cry for her dreams that died at age 21. Cry for the version of her that might have been. But also, cry for myself, for the loneliness, for the endless cycle of relationships that fail, for the exhaustion of being strong all the time. Drive home, pour a glass of wine, pull out Grandma's diary one more time. Flip to the last entry. December 2nd, 2015, written 3 weeks before she died. I'm 79 years old, and I've been thinking about my life. Everyone says I had a good marriage. 61 years together. That's success, they say. But I think about the girl I was at 21. She wanted to study English literature. She wanted to be a teacher. She wanted to see the world. She gave up all of it to be a wife and mother. Was it worth it? I don't know. I had stability. I had a home. I had children and grandchildren. I was never alone. But I also never got to be myself. I don't know if Frank even knows who I really am. I don't know if I know anymore. If I could do it over, would I choose differently? In my heart of hearts, yes. But I also know that wasn't possible in my time. I hope my granddaughters have choices I never did. I hope they choose themselves sometimes. I hope they don't have to disappear to be loved. Close the diary. She hoped we'd have choices. We do. She hoped we'd choose ourselves. We do. And we're alone. But we're also free. Is that better? Honestly, don't know. Think about Grandma Dorothy waiting 61 years to admit she'd have chosen differently. Think about myself, potentially waiting 61 years to admit I should have compromised more. Which regret is worse? Don't have an answer. Just sit there in my expensive condo with my impressive career and my total independence. And feel the weight of all the choices Grandma Dorothy never got to make. Feel the weight of all the choices I have but can't seem to get right. Her marriage lasted because she had no choice. Mine fail because I have too many. Both feel like losing. Pour another glass of wine. Text Amanda. I think I finally get it. Get what? Why Grandma's marriage lasted and ours don't. Because she was trapped. Because she was willing to disappear, and we're not. That's a good thing, Sarah. Is it, though? She had someone. We have ourselves. She had someone who controlled her. We have freedom. Freedom to be alone. Freedom to choose. That's worth more. Stare at my phone. Want to believe her. Should believe her. Do believe her. Mostly. Look at the wedding photo of Grandma and Grandpa I took from the house. Young Dorothy, age 21, in her white dress. Young Frank, age 23, looking proud and confident. She's smiling, but now I can see it. The smile doesn't reach her eyes. She already knows what she's giving up. She already knows she won't go to college, won't have her own money, won't make her own choices, and she's smiling anyway, because that was the only option. Think about Marcus asking me to cook more. Think about how I laughed at him. Was I wrong? No. But could I have found a compromise? Maybe. Would it have mattered? Probably not, because the real issue wasn't cooking. It was that he wanted a version of me that didn't exist. He wanted someone more like Grandma Dorothy, and I wanted to be someone more like who Grandma Dorothy wanted to be. Those things can't coexist. Sit with that truth. Grandpa Frank was right about one thing. Marriages lasted longer in his generation, but he was wrong about why. They lasted because women couldn't leave, because divorce was shameful, because women had no economic independence, because society punished women who left more than men who abused. They lasted, but they weren't better. They were just mandatory. And yet, sitting here alone at 32, another relationship dead, another year without a partner, another holiday season explaining to family why I'm still single. Can't help but wonder. Grandma, Dorothy, spent 61 years with someone. Even if that someone didn't really know her, even if she had to hide herself, she was never alone. I'm completely myself, completely free, completely alone. Which is better? Still don't know. Maybe there's no good answer. Maybe both choices involve loss. She lost herself to gain stability. I lose stability to keep myself. Look at Grandma's diary one more time. Her last entry. I hope they choose themselves sometimes. Sometimes. Not always. Sometimes. Maybe that's the middle ground. Choose yourself sometimes. Compromise sometimes. Be independent sometimes. Be flexible sometimes. But how do you know which times are which? When is compromise healthy, and when is it subjugation? When is independence strength, and when is it stubbornness? Grandma Dorothy never got to ask those questions. I ask them constantly. Still don't have answers. Maybe that's progress. Or maybe I'm just overthinking what she had to underthink. Phone buzzes. Jessica texting. Told Todd I'd consider relocating, but only if it makes sense for both our careers. He agreed to make it a joint decision. Feel good about it. Type back. Proud of you. Mean it, but also feel a twinge of something. Fear? Jealousy? Worry that she'll disappear like Grandma Dorothy? Or worry that she'll find the balance I can't seem to find? Close Grandma's diary. Put it on my bookshelf next to my law books. 2 different lives, 2 different sets of choices, 2 different kinds of loneliness. Hers, lonely within a marriage. Mine, lonely outside of one. Not sure which is worse. Just know I'm horrified by what marriage cost her, and confused by what it might cost me. No, I can't go back to her world, but don't know how to make mine work either. Pour 1 more glass of wine. Toast to Grandma Dorothy, who stayed, and to myself, who keeps leaving. Both of us trying to figure out how to be loved. Both of us failing in different ways. She got 61 years. I've got nothing but principles and an empty bed. Is that winning? Sitting here in my $900,000 condo that she never could have afforded. With my $240,000 salary she never could have earned. With my law degree she never could have gotten. Completely alone in ways she never was. Still, don't know if progress means happiness or just different kinds of pain. But I know I can't unknow what I learned. Can't unsee her letters. Can't unread her diary. Can't unhear Grandpa Frank saying what she wanted didn't matter. Horrified by their marriage. Horrified by my own failures. Horrified that both feel like losing. Guess that's the real horror. Not that the past was bad, but that the present isn't clearly better. Just different. Grandma Dorothy and I. Two sides of the same coin. She sacrificed everything for stability. I sacrificed stability for everything. Both of us wondering if we chose wrong. Both of us trapped by our choices. Hers by lack of them. Mine by abundance of them. Close the diary. Sit in silence. Think about Marcus. Think about all of them. Think about dying alone. Think about Grandma dying having never been herself. Don't know which is worse. Just know I'm sitting here at 32, surrounded by everything she wanted, and missing everything she had. And somehow, that feels like the saddest thing of all.